Okay, let's look at the top of the next page. So I'm just holding down the space bar and dragging with the hand tool. Now here I'm going to show you two ways of doing the same thing. Let me just close up the swatches panel. And that is, if you want to get a bunch of curves, call these humps or scallop shapes in a row, there's kind of two ways to do it. One is sort of what I think of as the standard way, that you draw a bunch of shapes, and some of the shapes are going to be wrong. There's no way around it. And then you come back and you sort of fix them manually. Once we do that, I'm going to show you a shorter way doing down here where we can sort of fix our problems as we go. So again, let's get the pen tool back. Also, I want to make sure that this is a one-point line, so I'm just going to get the selection tool and I'm going to set this back to 1 point. Now I'll get the pen tool back. Okay, so put your mouse pointer on the tip here and drag straight up. Now there's no little dots, but that's okay. We're dragging to this line. By the way, this green line here, that's actually a ruler guide. A few lessons ago, or in the last chapter, I showed you how to create ruler guides. This is actually a line segment that I drew that I converted to a ruler guide. Don't worry about that right now, but that's just also something that's not going to print. So I drag this straight up, and I've just created the anchor. I've dragged to where that adjustment handle is going to be. Now put your mouse pointer down over here and drag down. I'm going to hold the shift key down. I'm dragging down to this other ruler guide. So now I have this nice smooth curve. Now things start getting a little haywire, because drawing this next shape, you're not really going to get on the first try, because when you put your mouse pointer here, if you drag down, you get that S shape. If you drag up, you get a curve going in the opposite direction. So, how am I going to do this? No matter which way you drag this thing, you're really not, you might come close, but you're really not going to get it. So that's where we fix it later. So I'm just going to drag straight up till it matches that. I'll grab my point right there and I'll drag down. And this one works fine. I'm going to drag down there. And this one here also is going to mess up a little bit, so click. And if you want to drag down, you want to drag up, it doesn't really matter. So now we have two things that are wrong. This is where the direct selection tool comes into play. Sort of, but with a little help. Get the direct selection tool and click on this anchor. You say, oh, okay, I know this anchor is in the wrong spot. This anchor is in the wrong spot. So I need this anchor to be up in the same direction, right? To get the curve going the same place. But watch what happens though. You drag this, kind of like a Rubik's Cube, you know? You're dragging this up. Okay, this is the right direction, but now I'm ruining the one below. So I'm just going to undo that. What you want to do is click and hold the pen tool, and down on the bottom is the Convert Anchor Point tool. Select that, and you see the mouse pointer becomes this little V shape, this little carrot shape. Now grab this handle and drag it by itself, and you see, because you're using this special tool here, you're dragging just this one handle, and it goes up to where it should. And now, again, keeping the same Convert tool, drag this straight up where it should. Hey, this is now looking good. What about this? All right, get the direct selection tool. Maybe I'll do a marquee selection of these 2 points. I can't see them, so because this thing is this hide handle, so I'm going to click on this to show handles. Okay, now I can see multiple handles. You see why I say this is the long way around. The Convert Anchor Point tool. Now, it gives me this error message because I missed. When I clicked, I didn't click exactly on this little dot. I clicked somewhere near it. So that's what that error message is. Drag up. And last one, I'm going to take this and I'm going to drag up. Great, so it works, but that's just a lot of fiddling around, a lot of fighting with different tools. Let's do this one more time, but we'll do some shortcuts. First thing is, let's deselect all. Press Control-Shift-A or Command-Shift-A on the Mac. Let's go back, and instead of this Convert Anchor Point tool, click and hold on it and get the regular pen tool. We'll start out here just like before. Click and drag straight up. Use the Shift key if you need. Let go. Okay. Let's take the next one. So far, nothing really is different. I'm going to drag down. Now, there's no little guide down on bottom, but that's okay. You can see where that curve is, and you can see the top part of the handle is meeting the guideline, that's okay. But do not take your finger off the mouse button just yet. If you did, just delete the segment and start again. With your finger still down on the mouse button, hold down the Alt key, or on the Mac, hold down the Option key, and now swing this handle up here. So you just used a shortcut for that Convert Anchor Point tool. Okay, take your finger off the keyboard and make sure you've released the mouse button. And now put your mouse pointer back down on here. Again, drag straight down. Use the Shift key if you need. And once the curve is the place that you want it, again, keep your finger down on the mouse button. Hold down the Alt key or the Option key on the Mac and drag up. And then just keep doing it. Put your mouse pointer on the next spot. Drag down. Before you release the mouse button, hold the Alt key or the Option key and drag up. And you can do this all day long, really. But that's to show you. I don't know how many times, honestly, you'll need to draw a scallop shape like this. But if you need to do it once or twice even, you can see that using the Alt key or the Option key is going to let you adjust these handles without having to fight with it. Oh, and one more thing. Since you used the Alt or Option key to change those, these points here are now what are called corner points. So you can now get the Direct Selection tool, grab any of these handles, and now these handles will move around independently. You won't get that kind of seesaw effect of, as you saw before, of when you drag one handle, its twin moves around. That's because these are corners. So that's how you can get any kind of a V shape like that. Now, if you mess this up, it's quite alright. Just delete it and try it again. You might just want to practice it once or twice.